Dexter's just spotted a squirrel running up one of the trees, and now he's trying to follow his trail, I think. Oi! You're at the end of your tether, mate. And so am I. Hello, it's Dexter and me again. We're out in the great outdoors today. We're in Untitled Country Park, not far from where I live, about a 25-minute drive, and it's a lovely place. And today we've set ourselves a bit of a challenge to spice up our photography life. Instead of coming out with the X-T2 and the tripod and all the bells and whistles, I've decided today to go for a much more basic approach. Instead, I've just come out with the X-T20, no tripod, and I've set it to, well, pretty well auto mode. And I'm going to shoot in JPEG, and I've chosen Velvia as a film simulation. And them's the rules, not allowed to change anything else at all. So there are loads of lovely things to photograph in the park and to video. Yeah, so we're going to have a little stroll through the park. And see what we can get before I either get too tired or fall over, one of the two. Anyway, let's go. Well, very quickly I've hit on the first limitation. If you switch the X-T20 into full auto mode, then you get a limited number of film simulations. You only get standard, monochrome, and I think it was, well, I can't remember, but I wanted to shoot, because we're outdoors, in Velvia, and Velvia wasn't available to me to shoot in, so I can't shoot in full auto then. That's part of the challenge gone already. So what I'm going to do is, instead of shooting on full auto, I'm just going to leave it on aperture priority. I'll switch to auto ISO. So all I'm going to choose is the aperture. Let the camera choose the shutter speed, let the camera choose the ISO. And like I said, I'm going to shoot in Velvia JPEG. And let's see what we get. Let's see if we can shoot the day, or part of the day anyway, with those auto settings. Time for a nice cup of coffee. Well, we're back home after our day out in Untitled Country Park, and we also popped to a place called Nash Point in the Vale of Glamorgan, which is really nice. Unfortunately, the weather wasn't on our side there, but we got a couple of photos. So how did the basic photo shoot go? Well, quite well, I think. I really enjoyed using the Fujifilm X-T20 with its kit lens. It kind of reminded me why I bought it and why I've recommended it to several friends who've asked. Goodbye. Several friends who've asked what camera to get to step up from shooting with their phone. Yeah, it's really is a fantastic, easy to use camera. Don't be put off by the small form factor of the camera. Its performance is exponentially bigger than that. It does though look like, with all its little dials on it and everything, like a little professional camera. Pros and cons then of shooting in auto mode. Well, let's get the negatives out of the way first. I couldn't shoot in full auto mode, as I explained in the video. That severely limited the film simulations available to me. So I had to switch it off the full auto mode and just use it in aperture priority. I could have left the lens in full auto mode, I know, but I did want to have some control over what I was shooting. The only other negative I would say is, although I didn't edit these images that you're going to see for the video, I did try and play around with some of the images, and even though I shot in JPEG and fine, you can't really recover shadow or highlight detail without creating horrible noise or artifacts in your images. Or at least I couldn't anyway. Perhaps I'm not clever enough with Lightroom to do that, but when I tried my normal sort of editing tricks, they didn't seem to work as well with JPEGs as they did with RAW, and I didn't expect them to. Just be aware that you're not going to have perhaps the full range of editing options open to you if you shoot JPEG. And that's about it really for negatives. Oh, sorry, there's one more, and that's not a fault of shooting in auto mode. It's a shortcoming of the camera itself, and that is that it doesn't have a dedicated joystick for autofocus placement. You need to use the D-pad, but before you can use that, you have to actually enable it by pressing one of the other buttons. And 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't press that button first, and I'd go straight for the D-pad, and I'd end up changing a shooting mode or whatever. But that was a little bit frustrating. No doubt if I used the Fujifilm X-T20 a lot more, I'd get that muscle memory to know to press the enabling button first before going on to the D-pad, but there we go, that's by the by. The pros, as I've said before, it was really enjoyable, shooting with no pressure really. Instead of looking for that perfect composition or that perfect image, just pointing your camera somewhere and taking a nice picture. I found that really sort of liberating, if you like, not being tied to a tripod and a certain composition or whatever, and searching out for that best piece of light. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. The JPEGs coming straight out of the camera are fine. Things like the dynamic range of the camera surprised me, and apart from 1 or 2 shots where the shadows were completely sort of blocked out, it seemed fine. So to finish, I'll just put up the images that I shot in Craigenhouse and at Nash Point in very difficult conditions. Like I said, they're not edited other than perhaps a simple crop here or there. Yes, so as usual, I hope you found this video useful, and maybe even inspired you to go out and try the JPEG challenge with whatever camera you've got. Anyway, as usual, thanks for watching, and Dexter and I, well, wherever he's gone, Dexter and I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye.
It's the same every year. It's that strange nagging fear that there's something the matter with me. Feels like I'm 1% proof. Feel like the unwelcome truth that I'm not what I think I should be. I am unsatisfactory, an 11-volt battery. I'm a treacherous, leprous cheapskate, cheesecake, a fly on the wall who saw nothing at all, 'cause there's nothing at all to see. Where is the one who said she would come? Where is the one? She's taking me on. She makes me. 5 times a day my mother calls me to say how she's got 3 weeks in the sun. I need my annual service, but my heart does not deserve it, and I'm frightened of losing a lung.